Developing news this evening, the U.S. and the European Union have struck a trade deal in Scotland. This is just days before President Donald Trump's self-imposed deadline. National correspondent Keir joins us from Washington with more.
President Donald Trump went from Scotland's legendary Gulf Greens to the negotiating table Sunday, successfully striking a deal with the European Union.
It's going to bring a lot of unity and friendship. It's going to work out really well. This was the big one. This is the biggest of them all.
The agreement comes after months of tense talks. The president says the deal includes 15% tariffs for automobiles and other products. That's half of the 30% tariffs threatened by Trump, which were set to kick in on August 1st if no deal was made.
I think we hit exactly the point we wanted to find. Rebalance, but enable trade on both sides, which means good jobs on both sides of the Atlantic, means prosperity on both sides of the Atlantic.
At the start of the trip to Scotland, Trump also taking aim at Europe's immigration policies, linking the continent's migrant crisis to its broader instability.
On immigration, you better get your act together, or you're not going to have Europe anymore. This immigration is killing Europe.
On Friday, President Trump signaling to reporters outside the White House that more trade deals will soon be announced, with letters being sent to countries worldwide.
When that letter goes out, that's a deal. And we'll be sending maybe close to 200 of those letters out.
It's also a warning shot to those who have yet to make a deal that time to negotiate is running out. Last week, President Trump struck deals with Japan, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Earlier this month, his team finalized a beef export agreement with Australia. Talks with China, however, sat at a stalemate, but have reportedly resumed, with American and Chinese negotiators expected to meet in Stockholm Monday to discuss extending a pause on tariffs, potentially paving the way for President Trump and China's President Xi Jinping to meet later this year. I'm Keir reporting.
It's a high-stakes economic week ahead for President Trump.
He and his economic team are working to secure last-minute deals ahead of their Friday deadline when tariffs on imports from around the world are set to multiply. National correspondent Dr. Al-Nashar reports.
President Trump looking to lock in more trade deals with major economies after announcing a long-awaited agreement with the European Union.
If we are successful, I think it would be the biggest deal each of us has ever struck. So I'm very much looking forward.
Ever struck by anybody, that's true.
The biggest prize now is landing a deal with America's single largest trading partner, China.
We have a good relationship with China, but China's tough. And like you're tough, we're all tough.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent leading the U.S. delegation for a third round of talks with Chinese counterparts beginning Monday in Stockholm.
I don't expect some kind of enormous breakthrough today. What I expect is continued monitoring and checking in on the implementation of our agreement thus far.
Currently operating under temporary trade terms expiring August 12th, the White House looking to extend that deadline another 3 months. As President Trump looks to bolster U.S. manufacturing, part of securing a balanced trade relationship with China, Bessent says, is to see China manufacture less and consume more.
If they are willing to go down that route, then we could actually do it together. And then there are lots of other things we can talk about, whether it's them buying sanctioned Russian or Iranian oil.
That's now in question. Monday morning, President Trump said he's shortening his deadline for Russian President Vladimir Putin to end his war in Ukraine.
10 or 12 days from today. There's no reason in waiting.
Before imposing secondary tariffs of 100% on countries buying Russian oil. China is a top importer of Russian oil. Other major trading partners without deals by Friday will see their imports tariffed in the U.S. at a much higher rate.
No extensions, no more grace periods. August 1st, the tariffs are set.
Trump says he doesn't have time to negotiate with smaller nations, so they'll all be tariffed at a blanket rate around 10 to 15%. In Washington, I'm Al-Nashar.